Hello.
Hello.
Tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Nicole Bryant, and I am from Corsicana, Texas. Corsicana is about an hour away from Dallas, 45 south going towards Houston. Just a little small town over there. It's kind of a little big small town, if you might say. Graduated from there in 1999. Had the normal typical childhood. Like everybody else down there in the country, running around with everybody. Went to BB Field on Saturdays to watch baseball games all day. After that, we'd go across the street to YMCA and just kind of hang out and chill and play with each other all day. And that's pretty much how our childhood was. We just kind of grew up playing with each other, playing on each other's different sides of towns, and then going on to Navarro, where a lot of us went to. I went to Navarro as well, graduated in class of '04. I walked onto the volleyball team there. Actually at CHS, I was the captain of the JV volleyball team. Shout out to Coach Waters for believing in me, putting me in that position. Appreciate you there for that. We won a lot that year too, because we handled our business in real life. And the Barrow volleyball team actually ended up getting hurt first year out, so I had to just pull back from that. So I just focused on my studies. And ended up getting my degree in early childhood education from Navarro. So go Bulldogs. So yeah, that's how that went in Corsicana.
Oh, cool. And so, how did you end up in Dallas?
I ended up transitioning from Corsicana to Dallas because I needed a change of atmosphere. I had just had my first son, and we needed to get away from Corsicana because there was just nothing going on, no opportunities there. So I moved up to Dallas with him. We grew and we grew and we grew. He does have a brother, and him and his brother, grew up here in Dallas. That's all they know is growing up in Dallas. We started in Dallas, Duncanville, North Richland Hills, and then came back to Dallas. And so once we got to Dallas, we really kind of planted in firm roots here and got involved as far as the schools go. I actually taught at Duncanville ISD up here. Actually worked at a couple of daycares, teaching as well, mentoring, some tutoring, just really, being helpful in the community that way. I didn't really know how, impactful that was when I was doing it, but I was doing it up here. I didn't know about it on the level that I know about it now, per se. And I transitioned from there over into just working. I worked at some great companies, of course, I had great opportunities to work, and then I got to meet some people who were artistic and creative. So I kind of got a chance to foster my artistic and creative side. So I ended up finding a good friend, a best friend, and ended up deciding to make a show called Word on Street with Judy, where I became the producer of that show. It's an award-winning show. 2 awards. We have Community Humanitarian Award for the work we've done. 3 awards. Our first award. I'm so sorry I felt about that, but yes, we do have 3, so we are an award-winning entity. Please believe that, with 3 awards. And so being a producer has definitely changed my life as far as being up here in Dallas, as far as my creative and artistic side goes. I mean, I've been able to work with, some great people. I've been able to, capture some great performances on film. Actually got to capture the great Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. and his queen mother, Kua Njire, at, when they decided to put the bulletproof cover over his father's grave. I was actually out there to be able to film. Actually, I filmed the entire interview, able to snap some pictures as well, but it was just nice to be in that presence and be able to do that with such powerful people. The Black Panther Club party, it was really special, really, really special. Once in a lifetime moment, I'll never forget it. And it's just helped me grow so much as far as in my production field, as far as working behind the scenes on movies, working on shows, becoming a script supervisor, working lights, becoming a light tech, assistant stage manager, working on plays and behind the scenes. It's been really fun here in Dallas. And so that's what I love, and that's been my bread and butter here in Dallas. Is keep me moving forward and on and on and on. And I'm just steadily going up and up right now. Due to that, I actually have a interview that I got to do on Canvas Rebel, which was dope. I get to talk about what we did, what we do, where we're going, and what I have done to the point where I'm at now. Let me see. I also was, got added into a cohort fellowship with the Bridging Fellows. Independent sector is 2 years, and which led me into my nonprofit work because I ended up being the secretary of our nonprofit organization called Suits for Judah, that we deal with mentorship, exposure, entrepreneurship, and empowerment. And those 4 pillars are what really, drives us and what really makes us want to get out here and really keep doing the mentorship with our kids, to network with other nonprofit organizations, and really, really, really just grow and spread love throughout the community as far as working hard in the community as well. Because we do a lot of our own hard working and volunteering in the community as well. Okay, so with Suits for Judah, we ended up winning 2 awards as well. So that we are a award-winning organization. We have our 4 pillars, which are mentorship, exposure, entrepreneurship, and empowerment.
Nice. So, you were saying about production and producing. How did you get into that?
Actually, it was working with my business partner, Judah, and he is in the entertainment business. He's been there since day one. And so he really guided me, taught me, and, mentored me into the position that I'm in now. He was the one who actually showed me what to do as far as producing goes, what to look for, what to say, lights. I mean, pretty much everything that I do know, he taught me pretty much all of it.
That's cool. So, how did you find out about triple negative breast cancer?
Well, I really didn't know anything about it until I was diagnosed with it. And when I was diagnosed, they didn't even tell me the type of cancer it was. They just said, you have breast cancer or whatever. And that was back in February of 2019. Once they told me that, I was like, okay, well, do you know what it is? What stage? They didn't know anything. So I had to wait until, I think, about 2 weeks till I actually got to see the doctor. And once I got to see the doctor, then they actually told me exactly the type of cancer it is and what stage it was. And so once they told me it was triple negative, I had to ask some questions. I never heard about that before. What is triple negative? We only know about breast cancer. That's it. We don't know nothing about what triple negative is. So I had to do research on my own. I found that the triple negative breast cancer is the most aggressive form of breast cancer, and it definitely is more aggressive, and it's actually more women of color, especially African American women. We are the ones who are more prone to get this cancer than anybody else, as far as any other women and any other races go. And what it does is pretty much it's super aggressive, and it can only be treated with chemo. Like the HER2 and the other cancers, you can take, the chemo pills, none of that. You can't do anything with the triple negative. You have to go straight into chemo, after chemo, straight into surgery. Hopefully you don't have to have any radiation. I didn't have to have any radiation, praise God. But I did have to go through the biopsy and everything like that, and then the chemo, and then the surgeries.
So, tell us about the process with treatment and everything for triple negative breast cancer.
So the treatment of going through triple negative breast cancer was not easy by far. Dealing with the chemotherapy, which is the medicine that you have to get once you are going through the cancer, the medicine actually helps shrink whatever the tumor is or wherever the tumor is in your body. The chemo is supposed to help shrink it down to a smaller size so that the surgeons will be able to operate on it. When I went in for chemo, I would have to go in there. It was, like I said, it was 4 hours a day. And when I first went in, they would give me a shot of Benadryl first, just to get me ready or whatever. And then when they did the chemo, this scar right here is where my port was implanted in my chest. Every day when I went in, they had a hook needle that they took the hook needle, hooked it into my chest every time. And that's how the medicine was distributed into my chest, through the tube that went through my neck and down back through all of my body. That's how I had to deal with chemo. The first round of chemo, chemotherapy, chemo for short. So the first round of chemo was easy. As far as the first 4 weeks, I had 8 weeks of chemo. The first 4 weeks was Taxol, I believe that's what it was called. And that medicine is the one that takes 4 hours. It goes slow, and that actually didn't make me too sick. But I did end up, a week after losing all my hair. Just waking up in the middle of the night, and I brush my hair, and it's like my hair is coming out on the pillow. So I was like, okay, fine. I got up, went in the restroom, like 3, 4 in the morning, and completely shaved my head, bald. I was done with dealing with it. If it was gonna fall out, it's gonna fall out. But it wasn't finna fall out on my watch, and I wasn't finna watch it happen, and let it traumatize me even more with the trauma I was already dealing with going through cancer. So I shaved my head off. Once I did that, it made it so much easier when the rest of the little stubs of hair on my head fell off. After those 4 weeks, I ended up doing a different type of chemotherapy medicine. This medicine is affectionately known as the Red Dragon, and it's completely blood red, and it's the strongest chemotherapy medicine that is out there. And you get that with triple negative breast cancer because it's the most aggressive breast cancer that's out there, and it attacks women of color, especially African American women. So with the Red Devil, that one took me out. It was tough. I went in there still getting the same hook in my chest and watching this bag of red medicine coming from the IV tube, literally going into my chest, feeling it going into my body, my nose opening up, my ears opening up, me feeling sick and nauseous. I had got so sick to the point that they had to start cutting the medicine in half because it was too strong for me to handle. So, and that medicine only took 2.5 to 3 hours for it to come through and happen. When that medicine hits, it makes you very sick, and I'm not gonna lie. It is aggressive and it is hard. It will take you down. It took me down. I ended up being hospitalized twice. I almost lost my life twice from dealing with the aggressiveness of this medication. It takes everything from you. Everything from you. You understand? You have nothing. You have no strength. You can't eat. You can't taste food. You can't drink. I can only truly eat mashed potatoes. I lived off mashed potatoes because you literally can't eat or taste. You get this metallic taste in your mouth. Your mouth gets sores in them. Your tongues get thrashed like the babies get, where it gets white because it's caked up. That's what happens to you. They have to give you some stuff called magic mouthwash, and they give it to you, and you have to carry it around with you. Just like that's like this water bottle, carry your medicine around with you just like this. Anytime you eat, taste, whatever is filling you, take you a swish so we can help you be able to eat your food or just to help your mouth to stop hurting completely. So it was totally tough. And then having to, not only dealing with that part as far as the trauma goes to my body, but the mental trauma that goes to me having to tell my children. I got 2 boys. Now they're 17 and 13, but then they were much younger. And having to tell both of them that I had cancer. My oldest son completely broke down. He was like, did I do something wrong? God, did I do something wrong? Are you punishing me through my mama? This is what he told me. And he just bawling his eyes out. And I wasn't in a position to be ready to bawl and cry yet. For instance, I wasn't ready yet for that moment because I had to be strong for him. I had to be strong for them. My youngest son, he understood, but he didn't understand. He understands more now that he's older. But my oldest son was old enough to understand and to get it, and he was broken down and broken up about it because he'd never seen his mama broke down. He'd never seen his mama cry. He never seen his mama hurt. He never seen his mama not be able to go out there and get it how she lived. But he saw all of that. He saw everything being stripped away from me because of the cancer, because of what I couldn't do, because of where I couldn't go, because the opportunities I couldn't take advantage of because I was so sick to the point all I could do was lay in the bed or sit on the couch or look at my phone. It was rough. It was hell. It was complete and utter hell. I don't wish this on nobody, but if somebody else out there having to deal with this, man, battle up. I'm talking, put your armor on, warrior up, and get ready.
So if someone else is going through this, they've just been diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, They have heard your story. They know the battle that's to come. How did you pass your time? What they're gonna want to know is how did you make it through this? How did you get through this? What did you do in those moments when you couldn't move? Those moments when you couldn't be with your kids? You couldn't go do the things that you wanted to do. You couldn't get out of bed. You can't eat what you want to eat. In those moments, like, how did you pass your time? How did you go from one moment to the next? How did you make it from day to day?
The day-to-day battle was a struggle, but I actually got into meditating. Meditating helped me a lot. I was also into doing yoga, but it was really for me not being able to be mobile and being able to move my body like that. Meditation was what got me through. Actually sitting there and reflecting, being able to journal, writing is crucial. Okay, write about your journey, write about how you feel, write about how you hate cancer. I did, write about how I hated it, how it, made me feel like I was in the jail inside my body. That's the type of stuff you have to do. I wrote a blog to pass time. I also made jewelry while I was sitting in the bed or whatever, just something to pass the time. But meditating and writing was the most helpful and the most truthful things for me that helped me to get through. And I got them tips. I also joined some triple negative breast cancer groups. I found some friends, that were cancer survivors. Found a couple of groups on Facebook and kind of really found a kindredship with some of the other pink sisters out there. And that helped me get through the days where I couldn't get out of bed or I couldn't get through. So that was really helpful. So if you can, do any of that, if you have a good support system, they help too. Call them. Or, I used to have them call me or come sit in my room, bring my favorite something to drink, whatever the case may be. But, that's what you have to do to pass your time. You don't have to meditate or write like I did, because I'm a writer, so I love to write. But the meditation was really a thing for me because it helps me relax my body and actually be able to calm down and to go moment to moment, second by second, minute by minute, by just taking my time and reflecting and just being grateful for life.
For sure, most definitely. Right on. So, can you tell us about life after triple negative breast cancer, if that's a such thing?
It is.
Right
Hashtag new life with this.
Right on.
Cause you see it on my Facebook page, you will. But yes, it is definitely a whole life after cancer. You have your surgeries, you get better, you heal up, you get a new body. Okay, because to me it was like a birthday for me, being able to get a new body and waking up, refreshed, and I've been cleansed, inside and out, because that's what the chemotherapy does. And starting going forward, I felt like I was gonna get out there and take on the world and do whatever I wanted to do. Step in whatever arena I want to step into, not be afraid, not be scared, and I've done that. And in so doing that, I've been awarded with being a part of a awesome cohort. First of all, shout out to the Bridge Fellas Independent Sector. Being able to do that for 2 years, being able to work on some of the most awesomest plays that's been put on here in Dallas as the assistant stage manager, and as a light tech at the AT&T Performing Arts Center, which was dope. Being able to work in that massive venue and actually control a $100,000 light system. Are you kidding me? This is life after cancer, y'all. I'm gonna tell you just what it is. Let me see what else, because it's been so much. Pushing forward with the nonprofit has been amazing too. It has moved and grown so much. The network has expanded. We've been able to work with other. I've been able to work with other organizations. I've been able to reach out with some my other women and some of the other pink sisters as well. We've went usually on in October during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We got together last year, I believe, and we all did a speaking event where we came together and we actually told our stories about that. So yeah, I didn't let nothing slow me down. I actually got back to yoga, working out, riding on a skateboard, and also led me to my biggest accomplishment that I'm proud of after cancer, which is WarriorQueen. And WarriorQueen is the organization that I created while I was going through triple negative breast cancer to really put the awareness out there for other women, especially women of color, because we don't know anything about cancer in our bodies and people don't want to tell us, so I want to make sure that I'm out there to be able to tell other women to look, there's no signs to look for with breast cancer, there's not, but you need to be aware of the different types of cancers that's out there. You need to be aware of what's affecting you, especially being a black woman and a brown woman in America. You have to know what's affecting you. You also have to know the type of what it's going to do to you mentally. How do you handle that? I had a counselor and she helped me get through a lot. So with WarriorQueen, I wanted to bring in the mental health part as well as the getting more education out about the cancer, because in doing so, that'll help enlighten, that'll also, early detection saves lives. And that's the main thing. Early detection saves lives. Do your mammograms, get your mammogram in real life. But that is so important, don't let nobody scare you away from that. And that is the basis of WarriorQueen. WarriorQueen really wants to get together with cancer survivors, women still going through cancer, and caregivers. People forget about the caregivers. The caregivers deal with a lot as well. They go through a lot mentally and emotionally as well. So I wanted to create an organization that would help those people and be able to help them come together, to have them to have one place to come to be able to talk, to be able to link up, to be able to set up events, or just to have someone to talk to vent to, something like that. And that's what I want to do with WarriorQueen, and actually grow it and expand it into mentorship and so much more. So we're working on WarriorQueen now. That's what I'm working on. Make sure you go follow the page, okay? WarriorQueen on Facebook, WarriorQueen 08 on Instagram. Y'all go check that out. But really, I really want to get this message out because I really need to spread the awareness, and we really need to know what's going on out here with our bodies, and we really need to know how to deal with these different types of cancers and not believe that just because you go through chemotherapy that's it, you're going to die. No, you're not. It's so much more. And WarriorQueen will be here to help you with so much more. So just make sure you reach out, and I got you in real life.
Cool. What would you like to leave with everyone? What message?
Be you, be great, be inspired. Don't let nobody tell you anything different, because there's no such thing as stopping stones, only stepping stones. We all got struggles. We all have trauma. We all have a lot that we're dealing with and that we've all went through. But taking care of your mental health is important. Make sure if you got a counselor, you don't get a counselor, find someone, really get somebody to talk to. Take care of your mental health. Us as black people, and I'm talking strictly to us, we need to handle this. We need to get out there. We need to find these therapists. We need to find these people and talk to them, because you need someone to talk to. You need to get that out.
Right on. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.